Welcome back to For Car's Sake, everyone. It's been a while, but I've got a new car, FN2 Civic Type R. Now, there's a bit of an issue with my car here. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but there's quite a bit of camber on the vehicle. If we have a look underneath, everything is box standard. Because this is the torsion beam design, there shouldn't be any bushing or anything worn out to result in camber. So we're gonna have a look into this issue. Check that out, heaps better. Stick around to find out more. Now let's have a look. Now, as I said, everything is stock standard. Being a torsion beam design, there is no bushing or anything that could have worn out to cause the camber. And the only way to have camber is between here, add a shim plate in between to deliberately have a camber. Once again, on this side, you can see everything is OEM, nothing weird about it. Which means, unfortunately, this beam, this torsion beam, somewhere along the line is bent. That's the only way there could be camber. So if you have this issue, there are only two options available for you, unfortunately. One, to replace the beam, or two, get this beam somehow bent back. So this is a spare torsion beam that I've bought off another low kilometer FN2 Type R. Now let's have a quick look at the structure. To do the swap, there are 2 to 3 things that we need to swap over. Because when we were pulling this one off the other car, we were in a bit of a rush, so we just simply cut the handbrake cable, we've cut the brake cable, and we've cut the ABS sensor as well. So that means we're gonna have to decide where to swap them over. Now the brake cable, no matter what you do, if you wanted to change this, you have a loop here and a loop here, which means if you're wanting to do what I'm doing today and swap the torsion beam over, you're gonna have to redo the brakes. So let's get into it. Now, given both of the calipers are stock, I'm just gonna swap everything over as is, which means for me it's easiest to do it from here, undo it here rather than doing it there. And when I'm down under the vehicle as well, I'll just undo it from here again and then reattach them. As you saw, make sure you undo this side before you release this, otherwise you won't be able to do it. And on top of that, it'll be best if you use one of these, otherwise you're very likely going to round that off. Now for the other side, I'm going to do it here. This one's going to be a bit of a nightmare. This bracket is so soft. When you try to crank on it, it just bends. So it's not too hard here in the open, but when I'm under the car, this is going to be a bit of a pain. Alright, now to undo the handbrake cable, I'm going to undo this bolt and this bolt as well for the other side. After that, this one as well as this one here. Won't be long. Okay, now that the handbrake cable is free, the last thing to do is just remove this clip and then unhook the handbrake cable. And then once we've done that, it's time to do it on the car. Okay, now just rinse and repeat. Okay, now comes the hard part. The brake lines. Make sure all you disconnect at the same spot, obviously. And whenever you crawl under a car, especially when you're playing with brake fluids, make sure you wear eye protection. Now that we're down here, I'm going to undo the handbrake cable first. Now it's just undoing this brake line and this brake line. Then we'll be good to look at dropping it. Dropping the beam is the easy bit. So yeah, make sure you be patient. And also, if you've already loosened the shock absorber and stuff like that, I would strongly suggest you redoing those before you try and attempt to crack open some of these other ones. It's just so much easier when the torsion beam itself is nice and firm, rather than, you know, moving around while you try to navigate taking off the handbrake cable and the brakes, etc. Alright, bit of a recap. ABS sensor is off, handbrake cable is off. Underneath the handbrake cable, as you can see, have been released. The brake there has been released. ABS on this side is also released. Handbrake on this side also released. So now it's just a matter of two 19s and two 14s where the strut goes to the end, and then the whole subframe should come down. Let's get to it. So this is going to stay held up until you start loosening the front. So that's why it's going to be safe and okay for you to just drop this one. Make sure the ABS sensor doesn't get caught though. If you rip your ABS sensor, make sure you don't blame me. So you can see there's my ABS sensor, and behind there is the brake line. Let me just double check once more. Okay, this one's at a bit of a risky spot, so let's put it here. The exhaust is definitely not going to move, right? But the spring might drop. And the brake line is tucked away in the front. All right, let's continue. Now, if you have a look, you see how that's on an angle? That is why, for the torsion beam to come out, it wouldn't just sort of drop down and then just drop out. You need to level it up. All right, here we are, the two torsion beams. As I said, from there you really can't tell from just looking at it, but as you guys saw earlier in the video, it's definitely bent. So now it's just the same thing for this, up, and then we should be sweet. All right, let's get this back in. Almost forgot, gotta put the springs in first. Pretty cool at the bottom. You actually spin the spring into the stopper. Okay, up. Yep, keep going. Yep, this side is good. Keep going. And one more. Okay, stop. Now the front one. Once again, I'm trying to jack up the torsion beam so it's close to its natural position before tightening it. Otherwise, you're just going to wreck your bushing if you tighten it at the low position and it's constantly twisted. It started to rain, so I didn't film it all the way. Check that out, heaps better. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, and if it helped you, make sure to give me a thumbs up and a follow. Thank you very much. Catch you on the next one.